Hey there, fifth graders. So I'm going to give you the directions now so that tomorrow we can get the clay done in 35 minutes. Okay? So you're going to get your clay back. I've already done a little bit of work on my pig here. And you have one piece on there. It's a little bit dry. I did spray them. I kept wet paper towels on them for the week, but they're going to be a little bit drier. So don't try to change the form too much because it might break and crack, okay? But you want to add things onto it. So I've already added ears onto my pig. I have this snout on here, his little oval snout, which I did not slip and score yet. Make sure you slip and score everything as you do it, because you don't want anything falling off of your animal. So some scoring and some slip for everything. And I'm not going to blend this in because I want to be able to see this shape, but I'm going to just give it a little wiggle and make sure that it's really on there. The ears I blended in the front and in the back so that they're really stuck on there. You can also make eyes. I made 2 ovals for eyes for this, or 2 like little pancakes for eyes for this dog. And I slipped and scored them on, and then later when I painted them it really stood out. So I can do that for my pig too. Just I'll show you some little like pea-sized pieces. And put them on the paper, give them a little press to make them like a little pancake, and then try them on. Let's see how he looks. It's kind of cute. And you don't even have to put the inner part. You can actually just paint it black in there and leave this part white. You know, leave the whole thing white and then just put the circle in it. And that will take a little less time to get it together. You want to get all of the features of your animal on it today. A little press, a little scoring on this. Think about, or if I gave you a picture or look at your sketch, think about what kind of ears, what kind of nose, what's going to make your animal look like that particular animal. And what kind of tail does it have? So this guy, his tail has got to be a curly tail, right? So I made thicker than it probably would be in real life if a pig was this big. And I can put this on. Let me just give it a little roll here. This might be a little long, but I can always make it shorter. And a little tail can be like that. So his isn't sticking out really far. I think we already talked about that if you have the tail just sticking out, it will probably break. So to be on the safe side, put it, wrap it around and have it all the way on the body, especially if it's a really thin tail, like the giraffe. The cat, I have it wrapped around, but it's off a little bit. Okay, that makes it look a little interesting, and it's not as dangerous as having it really, sticking out on there. If you have time, once the tail is done, once the head is done, you can make feet for yours. Again, if you have time, you might run out of time. You can draw the line down the middle so it looks like there's 2 legs. I'm going to do it back here too. Now, just by making that line, it already looks like there's 2 legs, okay? In the front, I've made 1 little foot, and the way that I made the foot is I did some scoring, got a little piece of clay, a little ball of clay, and I just flattened it a little bit and put it right on there. Of course, you have to score first. And use some slip. And you know what? That's a little big. So that always happens to me. Once I put it up against the clay, then I know what size it should be. So give it a press, and then I took my dry thumb and blended it in. Those are his little hoofs. Now the cat and the dog, I made little lines for them, like this, like little claws. I think pigs have hoofs though, so I don't think I need those. But depending on your animal, you can decide if you need that. My giraffe, I didn't even put any feet. So you don't have to have the feet. The most important part is the head, the tail, and then anything that you need to put on the body to make it any texture that you want, or maybe little outlines like this. I pressed something into the giraffe all over it, and then later I painted those in. So if you have a texture, I can give you, you can take a tool when you're finished, or I can give you, if you have a really fuzzy animal, I can give you something to make lots of little marks in it. So I'm just going to make my pig furry, even though I don't think he's really going to be too furry. They do have hair all over them, so I can just make little marks on him to give it a little bit of interest. And don't worry about all these little pieces that are sticking up, because when I pick it up to put it in the kiln, those are just going to fall off anyway. So the last part would be any texture that you need. And then when we paint them, they will really come to life.